Hey guys, how you doing? It's Henry. Good morning. It is Saturday, and we're expecting a hurricane tomorrow. Actually, early this morning at 2 in the morning tonight. Got 4 iPhone emergency alerts yesterday telling us that it is going to be a hurricane, it is going to hit us, and we are going to be affected by it. So we made some preparations. I whipped out my generator that I haven't whipped out since our last blackout, and fired right up on the first pull. So I'll use that generator to power the refrigerator if it happens, and some lights around the house. I don't think it's strong enough to power anything else, you know. Today we're going to finally try to figure out why this smokes a little. It doesn't smoke a lot, but it smokes a little. And so given we had valve guide issues on this previously, I'm a little curious as to why it smokes. Perhaps the valve guide came out a little bit, or we never checked the valve guides on the right hand side, you know. So today we're going to be removing both valve covers off both, inspecting both valve guides, and if need be, might have to pull the head to see if the gasket's busted. But first we're going to try to get a little gauge on maybe clues on which one it is. So we're going to be testing my old $10 Harbor Freight tools or something or other, something I ordered on eBay, I think, something really cheap. I think this cost me $11, and it's not very accurate at all. But then again, when you have an engine that has compression release on it, it's not going to be accurate anyway. I forget whether or not a V-twin has a compression release on the cam. I'm not 100% sure. I got this recently from my friend Ernie McDonald. He thought I should use a better compression tester, so he bought me this one. I know he also saw a couple of episodes where I was trying to use the compression tester on, let's say, a weed whacker or a chainsaw, and I wasn't able to attach mine on there because it only came with 1 or 2 adapters on it, right, for the spark plug hole, and it didn't fit the small weed whacker or the chainsaw. This set comes with the small kind, so I'm able to use this on other equipment to test. I don't know what these things are. Maybe you guys could tell me what these things are. I want to say it could be like a leak down tester somehow, where this rubber part, you use pressure and push it against a hole, and you connect this to the thing. I'm not sure. Anyway, we're going to take the hood off, and we're going to do a compression test first on both cylinders to see what they are. See if they're the same or different. Kind of gives you a clue as to which one could be having problems. We're going to remove the hood again, so we have good access to what we need to work on. It's very easy to remove. Just tilt it at an angle where it's loose. There you go. And it comes right off. Very easy. I've removed the spark plug from the left cylinder. This was the cylinder that I banged in the valve guide for. This one was the one that had the bent exhaust push rod. We thought we fixed it, but if you look here, there's a little touch of Earl, which is a little bit of an indication that this could be the problem child. So I'm going to attach my compression tester, the original one, the $11 one, just so we can do a comparison. Okie dokie. Okay, so we have my old compression tester here, the unreliable one, okay? And we're going to pull the spark plug off of the other one because I don't want it to start the engine because it's a twin cylinder. Even though you have the spark plug out on this one, this cylinder will fire up and start the engine. That'll give you an improper reading. So I'm going to take the spark plug off the, not the spark plug, but the boot off of his so it won't start. So we're just going to crank it a few times and test mine. Here we go. All right. I'm showing 100. I honestly didn't expect it to be that high. I don't recall the last time I had a cylinder that was 100. So now we're going to connect on the new compression tester that Ernie gave me. We're going to see if we find a different reading. Okay, that's Ernie's tester. We're going to connect it on there. Remember, we got 100 on mine. Let's test Ernie's. See? We've got a different reading. We've got about 115? Yeah, about 115 or 120. So that's a 15 or 20 psi difference in a reading just from this different compression tester. Now I'm going to put the spark plug back in here again, take out the other one. We'll test the other side. Before I put this back in, I'm going to clean it up a little. This is one of those E3 spark plugs where the spark is extra wide because it splits into 2 or 3 sparks. Here's the spark plug for the left side, the right side. Smells like gas, which is normal, and it is kind of dirty. So I've got my old one on here. We're going to just do a comparison. Remember, this showed 100. So let's reset it now. I'm going to crank this now. I'm gonna, and see if we get a similar reading. Okay, we got a similar reading of 100. Okay, so I have Ernie's new one in there. It said 115 before. So let's test Ernie's. Wow, it showed less. I wasn't expecting that. So it looks like maybe we need to check the right side cylinder, huh? Well, we're going to take them both off. And look, if you look at it, it's leaking a little. It's going back down by itself. That's interesting. I cleaned that spark plug and I put it back in again. Now we're going to take the right side valve cover off, which we've never done before. I have rags here. And it has the pulse hose on here. Pulled it off from the fuel pump. So you can see there's quite a lot of oil here. So if we have a leaky valves over here, that could explain why we have oil burning and smoke. But the gaskets are good. Let me get this to, actually, you know what? I'm just going to pop it like that. I'm going to check the push rods, and it's not bent, it's straight. Let's check the intake one, and it's good, it's straight. Problem is though, I think now we need to take the spring off. Let me get a flashlight. Maybe I could just see through the springs to see if the valve guide popped out. So I was looking through the spring and it looks like the valve guide is popped out. But I guess not enough to damage the push rods yet. I just want to make sure that this side didn't pop out again. So my Loctite, remember I did not peen this side. I Loctited it and it's good. It's still there. It didn't pop back out again, which is awesome. But it is considerably different than the other side. So I'm gonna have to take the spring off of the right side and pop that valve guide back in. This time we'll try peening it. Okay, so I'm gonna take this exhaust valve, this exhaust push rod out, so that this is just loose like that, but it's not turning, so I might have to remove it. I'm gonna remove it. Removing it with an impact is okay. Not recommended, but okay. Putting it back, you need to use a ratchet. I'm just gonna set that down right there. Now we have a clear opening here of spring. Has these keepers in it. This is a magnet. I'm just going to push inwards. Problem is, you need the valve to be held out too. I'm going to grip the middle part. They have special tools for this, I just don't own them. So I'm just going caveman. There you go. They both come out. Trick is finding them when they come out. So I couldn't find the other one. I was looking and looking. Finally I found it. So take a good look at this. I know it's hard to see because these GoPros do not zoom in well and do close-ups. You can see that it's popped out about the same as the other side. You could see a distinct line where it's darker than the inner part, and that's the amount that it came out. It popped out about the same amount as the other one, which is about 2/3 more than what it should be. So I'm going to do exactly what I did before. Bang that part in. I'm going to try to hold this valve so it doesn't get pushed back in again. I'm going to put this wire around the groove so that I can ensure that this does not pop back into the engine, the valve. I'm just basically holding it here so that I don't inadvertently knock the valve back into the engine and then I can't get it out anymore. Then I'd have to take the entire engine apart just to get it out. So as you can see, now it prevents it from going in, see? You slip the socket over so it's the perfect diameter for the, I'm gonna bang it in. You can see it's moving. There we go. Now it's back into place again. So the valve is back in there now, pretty close to original. Now I'm going to peen it. I'm going to use my new DeWalt punch. That's right, I'm out here filming and my neighbor decides, yeah, let me come out and mow my lawn exactly when Henry's filming, because that's what I do. So looky here, this part right here surrounding aluminum housing of the valve guide, I'm going to just knock a bunch of holes in here. I'm And what I'm doing is I'm basically pushing out the aluminum, right? Aluminum is a softer metal than steel. And basically just compressing the valve guide so it stays in there. I probably should have put Loctite in it, but because we're punching this valve guide so hard in there, there's not even any room for the Loctite to adhere. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even know if that works, but it works for that side so far. So I'm just gonna do this for the first time. Never done it before. I'm just gonna bang a couple of holes there. That looks pretty good. Oops. Takes a steady hand. This punch works great. Uh-oh. That's no good. Just gotta be careful, I'm banging too hard. You know what? I think that's pretty good. What do you guys think? Is that pretty cool? You see what I'm doing? I'm taking away some of the, I'm pushing the material of the aluminum in more so that the hole where the valve guide sits is now compressed by the housing. It's tighter. See what I'm saying? So they say this should work. So that valve guide shouldn't move. I've actually heard of somebody welding it, but you know, that, I mean, that's possible too, but I believe the valve guide is steel and the aluminum's there. So aluminum and steel, you'll need a special welder like a MIG or a TIG with gas and stuff, which I don't have. So I'm gonna now slowly try to put the spring back on with those crazy little keepers. Holy cow, it's like surgery. It's very difficult to do. Okay, I put both valve covers back on again, put the spring back in, I put the Ernie compression tester back in here just to see if it's better than, what was it, what was it, 90 or something? So after we fix the valve guide, let's see. And it's still about 90, see? That's not very good. Perhaps the gasket blew on this one. And look, it's still kind of leaking, see? I mean, I don't know if that's an indication of it, but it's going down. So if anything, I would say this right cylinder has issues. Perhaps a busted gasket, which means that I would probably have to take the head off to see for sure, you know? But for now, we'll just put the spark plug back in and start it up, see if it smokes. All right, let's start her up, drive it out here, let it run for a bit. Spark plug, boot, choke, throttle. somebody said, or this is like kind of a widely known thing, that if I take this dipstick out after running it for that long and there's smoke coming out, it means I have a blown gasket. I mean there's very, if you see, there's a little, but I mean, the oil is super hot, you know what I mean? But I don't see a lot of smoke coming out, so maybe it's not a blown gasket? What do you guys think? Look. There's nothing coming out of there. I think it's supposed to come out a lot, you know what I mean? A lot of smoke. So, I don't know. Listen, I did all I could, whether it's a blown gasket or not. I don't have any indications that that's the reason, you know? So, it runs just fine. Ran it for about 10 minutes, even with the PTO engaged on load. And tested compression on both, getting about 110 on both. Maybe the right side is a little bit less than that one, but I mean, honestly, it's an old engine, you know what I mean? Don't know how many hours it has on it, you know? But nevertheless, it runs on both cylinders. Runs, drives, and mows. So that's about all I'm gonna do about this tractor. This is probably episode number 15 on the LT2000, but it was educational, you know what I mean? First time I ever peened the valve guide on the right cylinder, and we did find out that it did indeed pop out, so perhaps it'll run a little bit better, and maybe that was the reason why it doesn't smoke anymore, but I won't really know unless I go and mow my lawn again, which I've already done. Anyway, so that's it for today. That's my video on peening your valve guides on a Briggs V-twin. I'm gonna get ready and hope that Hurricane Henri does not hit us today. I might have to figure out an interesting way of parking my cars in case this tree blows down. Now, if I put all 4 cars in my driveway, what if the tree falls right on the driveway? All 4 cars are gone, right? I could think about parking my baby over here. I know it's ghetto and hillbilly to park on the grass, but we're only talking about a hurricane event here, right? So if I park the Mercedes over here, the tree shouldn't get to it. And if it did, it would be the least impact, right? I'll park my van like maybe down the road or something. See, everybody is trimming trees, mowing their lawn, getting ready for a hurricane. We'll see what really happens. I'll show you guys when it happens, if it happens. But I'll have to think about a creative way to park my car so that if this tree goes down, well, shit. If this tree went down, it would destroy my house on this side. Just hope it doesn't blow this way, you know? So I moved my son's car here. When my wife comes home, she'll park here. I'll put my van right there because it's higher and it's pretty solid. If the tree falls, unfortunately, towards here, the van will absorb the impact and hopefully spare my wife's car. Whereas if I didn't park it here, it would go straight into her car. So hopefully the van will sacrifice itself. This is the most least expensive vehicle that I have. I was worried that the basketball hoop would fall in the wind and hit the windshield of this car. So I tilted it down. The basketball hoop is filled with sand, so it just dripped out. I parked my car here. I've never parked my car here before, but look, it fits a car, you know what I mean? And this is well away from the tree, hopefully. At least, if anything, branches will hit it, you know? But the bulk of the tree will hopefully miss the car. So that's the preparation I have for it. It's the best I can do, you know? If it was like a category 4 hurricane, which it's not, it's only supposed to be like a 1, maybe, if that at all. If it was a 4, I would park the van right in front of my house, like that. Almost like blocking the wind from the windows. You know what I mean? That's what I would do. Also, another thing about parking all my cars on my driveway as opposed to the street is that if the tree fell and it destroyed everything on my property, right, there would be less of a dispute with the insurance companies, because they would probably try to argue, well, your cars were on the street, so that's not our problem. We only cover your property. So that's why you put all your cars on your property. So if they get wrecked through a storm, it's covered because your vehicles are on your property. If you park it on the street, they could try to deny your claim, and you know they will. So it's safe to have all your cars on your property in a storm like this, because if anything happens, you're covered by your insurance. Hopefully. Let's hope I survive Hurricane Henry. It would be ironic if Henry doesn't survive Hurricane Henry, you know? Anyway, wish me luck. Thanks for joining me on today's episode. We peened the right cylinder valve guide. First time I ever did that. Hopefully it works. As you saw, the Loctite red on this one seems to work. Hasn't popped back out again. And we did the valve clearances again for both of them. Starts, runs, drives, mows. If I get rid of it this year, great. If I don't get rid of it this year, I know I'll get rid of it sometime next spring. See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.
See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. Yeah.
Hey, if you guys enjoyed the video, remember to give me a like. Also, comment below. Subscribe. Remember, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. It's free, right? Also, hit that little bell. That way you'll get post notifications whenever there's a new video, and you won't miss out on any of them. Remember to follow my Instagram and Facebook, as well as, if you'd like to donate $1 or $2, paypal.me/mowersandblowers. Really appreciate all the support. Also, to keep the videos coming every day, support the channel. Bye.